into the Overwatch League game shape, so to speak, right? The game is much faster than being at home, playing scrims or competitive mode. So I think it's just going to take time for him to get used to that speed of the game yet again.
Out of the gates we go here on to Oasis for our first map of the series. The London Spitfire do play Winston in this triple support with just the two tanks. So Benocean going to be fading back to the point now, and London are unlikely to contest as they want to make a switch.
Here's London. They'll change things up. They'll get with the Reinhardt version of the 3-3 when they see Winston on the other side. Well, it's the right choice. It's not London's strongest composition, but they're just trying to be that immovable force off the point with Reinhardt is the right move here.
I mean, we saw much Yakpong struggled yesterday on this very map and stage, playing the Winston against Fusion's Reinhardt. It's difficult to be Winston here. Popo has to be careful about where he positions himself. If he gets discorded and hit a couple times without a hammer, he's going to be having a bad time. The bubble being thrown down, but Fury's mech is actually the first to fall here. Popo healed up, but there it is. Birdring is able to charge him down, hit the shield bash and remove him. 6'5", but it's just a mini diva for the London Spitfire here. Prophet being as charged as he is, though, this is going to allow them to push Atlanta off the point.
Yeah, it's just so much harder to be able to take out this Reinhardt. Like, getting the stuns onto the Reinhardt, not as easy as, let's say, the Winston when Winston dives in. So they're able to take out Popo early and then build off of that. As Prophet getting close to a Graviton Surge of his own here. Is you see they have one player on the point, Popo just trying to contest this underneath. It's going to force Fury down.
Yeah, with Popo diving though, front line unprotected here. Prophet taking a heck of a lot of damage, getting healed up in a pinch, and he is again charged and ready to go. He gets his grab a little bit later on, but the grab from the rain wasn't really followed up on. Popo tries to come in a little bit late with a primal rage to knock them into the self-destruct, but the combo pieces for Atlanta weren't really set up at the right time. London though, they do one better. Self-destruct finding Baby Bay, taking a huge portion of Atlanta's available damage off the table. And now they transition to the later part of the fight. Gesture, huge earth shatter. It looked like at least Masaa would be able to avoid getting knocked down by that one, but we must have been clipped by the earth shatter, Matt, as he tried to use the pillar to break line of sight.
Yeah, that shatter hits Masaa in Popo, as now Popo switch over to Reinhardt.
This is a bit late for this. Do you reckon they should have done this earlier?
Well, it's hard. It's the same thing that we saw from Boston the other day, right? They ran off of the point to go back to switch to the favorable comp. Once they got control, they lost it, never got it back. I think your biggest worry here for Atlanta is how far behind you are in building up that Graviton Surge yet again. Both of them used in the previous site. Maybe they fall, so he's only at 28%. Prophet getting very close to yet another one.
73% for the Spitfire, and they got a Transcendence here, which they're going to use straight away. Erster falling early in the fight. No Brigitte now for the Atlanta Rain, and now they want to try and jump on Popo. The Reinhardt factor. Wow. Now the Rain can't really move up and do anything at all. They got one more chance, Matt.
I mean, once Ursa's gone, you know that there's no burst healing to keep the Reinhardt alive. So what do you do after you get the Brig? You just start right at the Reinhardt. 3 players from the London Spitfire just go right at Popo. But take him out is... this grab self-destruct combo here for London could seal this point.
Prophet definitely wants to force a Transcendence here out of Kodak. He'd rather the Rain couldn't use it to engage aggressively. Popo's low, they're going to have to use the rally at least to keep that Reinhardt up. Earth Shatter from Gesture doesn't really connect, and now the self-destruct's going to come in, charge. That worked perfectly! That's exactly what Gesture was looking for, to set up the bomb from Fury, and he gets 2 again. It's Popo and Erster to fall down. Definitely the foundation of this Rain roster, and without them, Atlanta can't get back to the point. Nicely done by the Spitfire, playing a composition that we know they didn't love in Stage 1, but they worked hard on it, Matt. And they got the Reinhardt set up with the self-destruct combo.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity, in between the stage to do one of the Access Granites with Nos and Prophet. And when I was talking to them, one of the things they mentioned was that, hey, like, we're just trying to build to the end. Like, the experience from last season where all the ups and downs, they're like, we'd rather start a little bit low and gradually build up and get strong at the end, and instead of going on the roller coaster ride that they had last year. So,
no one wants to peak in Stage 1.
But I think London has realized that this is a long season. They remember last year, they weren't great, at the middle of the season.
They were good at the start, at the end. Yeah, then average start Stage 2 and 3.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we'd rather just work our way into that top form towards the end.
I mean, they had it just the way they wanted it, Matt. They went into the finals essentially as underdogs. So.
I mean, look, it's just kind of like professional sports, right? Where you got to be good the last few weeks of the year when it comes for the playoff time. Nobody remembers who was lighting it on fire in the first 2 weeks of the season.
I tell you what, Popo, they're getting hacked up, so he couldn't really get away from Gesture there. London are taking a large amount of damage from Erster, though. He's constantly pressuring him with those rockets. Getting rid of a large body in the form of Popo early is going to allow the Spitfire to assert their dominance over the point itself. And Gesture doesn't really seem to be in a hurry to try and engage. They catch and layer out, and that's what Brigitte will give you against flankers. The Rain might have gone into a bit of a mismatch compositionally here against London, who are ready to deal with this.
Yeah, as London comes out with Sombra, they kind of expect to have the Wrecking Ball on the other side as Prophet. Oh, a nice hack there.
I mean, he got stunned and hacked from behind Ursa. That was incredibly risky. You have to think there's going to be some changes here from Atlanta, and real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard with that rocket barrage and that close quarters. Dude, probably not going to live through that. As see if some changes come in through from Atlanta. Looks like they're going to stick on with this. Maybe you just want to get a use out of your EMP coalescence, get that rocket damage down from Ursa on the Pharah, but they're going to walk right into this EMP of Prophet. You see him hiding here in the corner.
They should know. They have to know that Prophet is close.
You see him look over on his teammate's screen, because then you can see if the players are coming through from their POV.
Yeah, it's likely he's looking at Gesture's screen there as well. Gesture will be the one on the front line. EMP connects, and it does the job here. Masaa got hacked there as well after the fact, and with Kodak going down. Minefield dropped in that small room there. A lot of frivolous ultimate usage so far from Atlanta in this round. They may be making the same mistake they did in the previous round by switching maybe one fight too late in the piece. Here come the compositional switches, and Ursa is actually going to be playing the Zarya.
Yeah, now like you mentioned, Prophet actually, when we see that player camp, he's looking over. Gesture sits directly to his right, so they can have the Winston kind of scout out. He can get a great idea of when players are coming to land that big EMP.
Coalescence now. The 5-up Ocean Baby Bay. Well, he would like to shut that ultimate down, and he does eventually. Walks in with that EMP, but already the healing came out onto the London Spitfire that benefited him quite heavily. Gesture is no longer hacked, and he can go for a primal rage here to start to segment the Atlanta Rain as they attempt to approach. Self-destructing over the top. Poke Post caught out by that one. That's the worst target for Atlanta to be losing now in this fight. Ursta's going to get bullied here by Gesture, and he realizes he doesn't have to do much more than this. Just force them away from the point, keep them split up. Masaa now has to try and desperately stall the point, but Birdring catches him with the Brigitte. And now in overtime, there's no real chance to get here. A little bit of a touch on the point, and that was Kodak fading forward, using his escape just to try and keep the round going. Never a good sign. Pokepo now as well to fall. Switch over towards the Winston here. And it will be a cleanup. And Lair caught out again. Still playing this Tracer in towards the Brigitte. Not a great look there. In London, weren't pushed to change their comp. They weren't pushed to really work outside of their comfort zone. They just got to play a very straightforward game.
Yeah, and Kodak doesn't really get anything with the coalescence because he actually gets hacked by Prophet from behind as soon as he pops that Moira ultimate ability. So didn't really get any damage or healing out of that as London dominates map 1 here against the Atlanta Rain.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Leisurely stroll on this Sunday morning for the London Spitfire. Early on in that map, I mean, Oasis, we didn't see a lot of Atlanta forcing anything. I mean, they were the ones that were sort of forced to switch comps and try and adjust and accommodate. And London had all the momentum. They were winning the first fights on the points. Really, it was very open and shut.
I mean, look, a lot of teams run that heavy damage dealer comp with the Wrecking Ball as like that solo tank. But against a London Spitfire, who you know that Prophet can play very strong. Sombra, Gesture wants to play Winston. Fury wants to play Diva. You allow them to kind of just play what they would have liked to play there. And Ursa on the far didn't really, get those big pickoffs like you would have seen from, let's say, a Pharah player in that position. There's not a hit scan on the other side, not like a Matisse or anything.
Look,
so
you're playing into Moira as well, so Moira's able to pretty much heal over a lot of that Pharah damage unless there's consistent rockets that are connecting.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, it was just Ursa that was, putting down that damage to start things off. We saw a lot of the Atlanta Rain on City Center, still sitting up on the high ground, taking the time, and there's some pressure from Pharah rockets, but there's no follow-up. Enlair wants to get in there with Tracer and finish off the kills that Pharah sets up, but there's a break there. He gets shield bashed immediately and taken out of the fight, and that's when you realize the composition from the Atlanta Rain just made no sense against what London were playing. London had way more of a robust approach to that round.
And just really good reads from the London Spitfire. I know in stage 1 there were some times where they would switch to some compositions and play into some things that didn't really make much sense. But right there at the beginning, the first point where they come out with the Winston version of 3-3, and then they see the Winston version of 3-3, and that's why they opt not to go to the mirror. They go with the Reinhardt base.
I kind of like that. Even though Jessup would probably believe in his heart that he's the better Reinhardt in that case.
Yes.
They choose the composition that they know, even if it's not their preference, is going to be stronger in that matchup.
Yeah, so they decide to play the strengths, as we do have a substitution comes in here for the Atlanta Reigns. So FRD will come in for Baby Bay. So he's getting things set up.
We call him FRD. It's a truncation for fried, which we call it FRD. It's just a little bit easier.
Well, that's his name.
Yeah. Well, FRD, fried.
It's all the same.
Fine. So he comes in for Baby Bay. So I think he's an exciting prospect. He's risen. He really has risen quite fast. And coming in for Baby Bay as well, you expect to see some, damage dealing options come from him. We've already seen him in his debut, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, so excited to see. I think Atlanta, you're an expansion team 1, so obviously you're bringing players together. You're trying to get them on the same page. Then after stage 1, you have the Fran retire, and you bring Baby in, you bring FRD in. So I think this is going to be like a little bit of an adjustment period for Atlanta as they try and figure out what they're going to do.
Temple of Anubis is next, but you're right. I think, this roster plus the Fran, that offering, there was a lot of impetus behind that. Big push as they came into the league. A lot of interest in them, a lot of eyes on them. Now, that element is not there. They need to find something that's sustainable, that will sustain their performances going forward, allow them to generate momentum as they sort of start thinking about, this stage is playoffs, and then, of course, the season playoffs later on. So over towards the Temple of Anubis here. Decent record for the Atlanta Reign. They've won this one twice. This is point A here. This is where London are going to be hanging out first, trying to capture this part of the map. And then into point B.
So we'll see. Looks like it's going to be kind of like a classic Anubis defense here at the start for the Atlanta Reign. So they'll be running the Orisa with the Diva, and then you're going to have Widowmaker, who can get up on that high ground behind. And then you have Ursa playing Junkrat. Junkrat can just put down a ton of burst damage, so if the other team tries to dive the tanks up on the middle platform, the little bridge here they're playing on, you'll be able to blow them up.
So that shield that Popo put up on to the high ground there allows Enlair to play a little bit aggressively to begin with. Allows him the upper hand in a Widow duel, which is what we're seeing from Birdring. He's playing that at the moment. That shield won't always be there, though, and Enlair will have to back away.
This is interesting from London. Triple tank, Prophet playing Wrecking Ball here. So he's just styling right now. He's going to be playing the Wrecking Ball. His Gesture, top of the stack.
Triple tank Widow.
They're trying to set some kind of play up here.
I think they're trying to obscure the fact that they have a Widow, especially the way that they came out of spawn. Birdring never peaked against Enlair early. I would say that they want to make it look like they're trying to play like multiple tanks and then set Birdring up and let him get some shots in. We'll see if that works. He's now revealed himself, so the Arena are definitely aware that there's a sniper on the field for the Spitfire.
But Prophet did come from behind and land a pile drive on Enlair, and it actually forces him off of that high ground into an advantageous position where now he's a little bit more in the open. Or maybe Birdring can get an angle on it.
Kodak is down right now, but Masaa is still there, and he'll get the resurrect. With Ursa going down to Birdring, though, that is very important. He gets a huge portion of Atlanta's damage here, defensively speaking, but the Spitfire need to chain this into a couple more kills. And having lost Bidosin now, and Jesse, Prophet probably just has to get out after he's taken this mega.
So I know Atlanta does hold on here.
Prophet, Birdring knows that he's visible. Yeah, he has to use a grapple to get across the gap. Birdring is a more defensive Widow player, Matt. He likes to be the second player to peek. He doesn't really want to, start the fight. So he'll likely try and stay hidden until the rest of his team engages and see if he gets some breathing room to take the 1v1 against Enlair or pick off some supports.
We'll see if London decides to stay on this, as Prophet can definitely stay on the Wrecking Ball, but we've seen in the past, you can play Genji as well, get behind enemy lines. So same strategy. He goes to the high ground here on Wrecking Ball, and that's going to force FRD up to the high ground, just trying to protect his Widowmaker here.
Okay, over the top gesture, forcing Erster back. Erster having to play on the sort of low ground here, which is not really where you feel most powerful as Junkrat.
They're going to wait this out, though. Valkyrie used here by Masaa, so you're going to wait out all of this healing or the damage boost that can be put down. Now you're going to use a Valkyrie your own and push in.
Erster might just sit here and try and get a Riptire set up. Wait till eyes are taken off him here. Gesture now coming with a Primal Rage, so Erster needs to make this decision pretty darn fast. Gesture extremely low, and here comes a Riptire out towards Prophet, who just... Well, he just sort of absorbed that damage. He's alive with 1 HP, and he's still able to get rid of Endland, so that wasn't really the use of the Riptide that the Rain were hoping for at all. Birdering now, really comfortable. This is exactly where you want to be as Widowmaker. You sit now with a great view of the battlefield. The enemy is barely able to pick their head outside the room, and they get annihilated by your tanks pushing in.
And it's so difficult to probably deal with this comp because you have, the Winston and Wrecking Ball, D.Va as well, who can dive, put a lot of pressure on. And it makes it, how do you go back and deal with the Widowmaker? Some changes here will come in for London as they're going to go, not the traditional 3-3. They're going to play Winston here. Now I think they actually may go back and let's see if they're going to go switch to the Reinhardt.
Playing Reinhardt into Atlanta's defensive Winston setup. I mean, they have the Mei, though, which is...
Yeah, the Mei.
This is very interesting. Now, we actually see this tons in Overwatch contenders. So in our Tier 2 scene, it was very common for a long time to see Mei, even played on control maps as well. Tvik, during his time in the Florida Mayhem, often brought this pick out, Matt. It is very frustrating to play against.
Yes, Mei can use the walls to flip players off or just land shots at range like that. So, that Mei is a...
Oh my gosh.
Mei is I kind of put Mei in the same category as like a Doomfist, where you go up against like a really strong Mei and it's just really frustrating.
It's a specialist pick.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like really like a niche pick, only good in certain parts of certain maps, but when you go up against a good Mei, you have to all be on the same page because those walls could really stop these pushes before they
need to
begin.
force out the wall, and then you need to force out Mei's own ice block, which generally keeps her alive. So, what are London looking for here, Matt?
Well, Prophet's behind, so potentially trying to set up a hack here. There's that big Mei wall that goes down. They get the hack on a Kodak, so not able to use Transcendence here.
Fury frozen out of the mech, goes for a self-destruct though, just to give himself a little bit of space to get back in the mech. But Ocean, this is a very risky fight he's trying to take, and now Enlay is going to try and freeze them both up, and it's going to force the Transcendence out. Enlay realizes now he's not in any immediate danger. It pops out of the ice block, tries to continue fighting. He gets EMP'd though. Ursa's Riptire will need to find a key target here, and he can't even get Birdering. The shield was well placed. Now London are in control. They've got 2 ticks on this point. Enlay needs to back up. He probably has his ice block available for him now, so he can throw himself into the battle, and the Blizzard comes out. This could bring the Spitfire to a screeching halt. With Birdring and Bidoshin both out of the mix, it seems to have done the job. The Spitfire, Matt, they get very close.
Yeah, Fury is so good at using that defense matrix to eat up some of these projectile ultimates. Enlayer makes a really heads-up play there. He actually comes from behind Fury. He freezes him with Mei's primary fire, and then obviously Fury not able to do something, then throws the Blizzard out there. So 0 chance of it getting eaten.
Endothermic Blaster is pretty nasty. Again, the Mei wall didn't do a whole lot. We saw Enlayer throw it up, but because there's Winston and D.Va on the side of the Spitfire, you can sort of circumvent that pretty comfortably. Still, if it's placed in the open, like in this door here, it is annoying. But with Enlayer and the rest of his team pushed back so far, they can't afford to do that. Kodak is down early at that. Kodak could have built up a Transcendence in this fight, but now he'll have to wait and respawn. And with Erster down, he might not have a chance to have a meaningful impact here, Matt. London are back in control. The point now, 87% and counting. Primal Rage had to be used by Popo there, but he's burst down himself. FRD is going to be desuited. Erster will get back just in time. He'll try and go for a pile driver, but he got hacked in midair, so he couldn't use that ability. Self-destruct from Fury will make some space. Master's going to try and slink away now, but they get off the point. And London eventually push through. They prevail. And they go with a very, I'll say it, it's a very no-nonsense setup. Prophet on that Sombra. Jesse getting to play his favourite little Winston there. In the Atlanta Arena, they try something a little bit different. They try and go for the Mei. It definitely saves them in the fight where they got Blizzard. It'll take more than that. Atlanta go on the attack after this. tire spinning from the Atlanta Reign here as they try and break through what London Spitfire presenting to them. Also, Erster's tires really having the impact that they were desiring there. Coming up, by the way, Thursday, April 11th, it's going to be the battle of the Disneylands. Paris Eternal versus the Florida Mayhem. Figure it out. It's going to be on Twitch, ESPN3, and Disney XD, so join us for that one at 4 p.m. PT.
I've been to the one in Florida, not the one in Paris.
I haven't
the Paris either, actually.
Really? No. I really haven't experienced life, you know. I mean, I lived in Europe for 3 years. I just never got out that way, really. I digress, though. Atlanta Reign on the attack here. Do we see this Batiste play? No. Okay, I'm okay with Faru, though. That's all right.
I mean, this is FRD. Well, actually, no. They got Masaa playing the Mercy. Okay, so we'll see them switch now again. So, we're going back to the spawn.
I mean, look,
some more changes.
If you see Brigitte here and you think, and you're hoping to get a lot of value out of Tracer, I don't know what to say to you. London are playing close to get on the high ground to start with, and they dropped out.
Well, actually, our Ursa hits a concussive blast that actually knocks some of them down from the high ground.
They involuntarily dropped out.
Yeah, so Nuss now, so they actually used the concussive blast just to knock them down. They actually ran Symmetra at the beginning, London, to teleport the players up to the high ground because they can't access that without her. So, and now Nuss loses that high ground that he wanted pretty much instantly here.
Well, look, they don't have a static shield, so if someone fires a concussive blast at them, they can't. It's not like they have a Orisa. But this is working anyway. Gesture's able to pick Masaa up there.
Yeah, he gets hit with a biotic grenade, so can't get any healing. Gesture takes advantage of it. Stands there tall on the bridge, and they'll take him out.
With this composition, you need that Lucio to propel you forward and give you a speed boost. They were waiting for a while. Still, the Reign, though, want to trade a little bit of damage here. Erster got doused by the looks of things with the biotic grenade.
FRD has to eat these biotic grenades, and they come in from Nuss on the bridge. As Pogba doesn't even make it near the high ground, gets deleted before he can even get up
What
there.
I find interesting is that Atlanta are still trying to fight. I assume that Erster is using this as an opportunity to charge up his ultimate when he can't commit fully to a fight. He says, well, look, I'll stay alive. I'll just trade a little bit.
How are you getting the divers across that large gap that we see Bedosian playing from? You can just Discord dive across. So I think you're going to have to take a different route here. If you're Atlanta, which they are, they're going to go in from the right-hand side. Now go up the staircase. See how London plays around this. You do have the nano boost here from Nuts. He's going to use it right away on a bird ring.
Oh, that alpha damage on Pogpo was far too much for him to be healed up in a pinch. Now the Transcendence was used after the fact. Oh, Atlanta, that will sting. They needed that ultimate, ideally with their boots on the ground while they were contesting the point. But Bedosian, in no universe was he going to be pressured into using his own Transcendence here. So the Nano Boost works out well for us.
And London has seemed to really play strong here on the defensive end. They know exactly where Atlanta's going to go. The rotations are really clean. As you see Gesture get to the high ground. Graviton Surge that comes in here from Prophet. It's nasty.
No. Bird Ring just swinging with the flail while all of Atlanta were caught inside that Graviton Surge. And there is an upside to this, is that Atlanta haven't used all their ultimates.
Welcome to the Overwatch League, FRD.
Jeez. That's what it means to play deeper.
So they tried going around the left-hand side of the bridge. Didn't really work out. I think trying to get to that high ground on the right-hand side is going to be really difficult. So I think going the route that they're going in Atlanta, I think this is the right call. It's just how do you break this when London's able to just kind of jump up with Gesture, do some cleave. Now he's got Primal Rage. You have the Nano Boost to use here as well.
The problem is that at no stage have Atlanta Reign had the lead in Ultimate Economy, and Nuss having that Nano Boost is actually really important because it's another form of burst healing that they otherwise wouldn't have outside of the repair pack. So Gesture gets low, just Nano Boost the guy, gets a boost of health, and he's back to fighting normally. The Reign now going to move towards the point here. They've already got themselves one tick. With a rally, the Spitfire are going to begin their contest now, but Erster has a Graviton Surge. They have to know that this is waiting in the wings, and he gets thrown out now. Transcendence immediately going to be used, but there will be a self-destruct in there. You see Gesture's like, nope, I'm getting out of here. Birdring got taken down by that one, but Bedosian's being harassed in the backside. So the Reign put together this fight very well. They had the ultimates for it, in all fairness, but they didn't falter here, and this would have been their last real chance.
No, they're going to try and go quick here as a few players from London die towards the later end of Atlanta's attack. Atlanta wants to take advantage of this, have the advantage in players getting onto the point first.
Erster boosting himself along with his right click, but that actually takes down his armor first now and not his shield. So he loses armor from the rally. It's not a big deal, it's just a small thing. Gesture with the Reinhardt. It's just playing in this corner here. So stays out of line of sight while still contesting the point. It's quite a safe way to keep the game going. It allows London to get everyone ready. Prophet just yeets the grab in there as soon as Popo appears, but they're still not able to take down the Winston. He had Primal Rage, even with a Discord Orb now. That is not amplifying your damage nearly as much. Speaking of Discord Orbs, well, Atlanta don't have one anymore. Kodak went down early in the fight. Popo extremely low, waiting for those healing cooldowns, and he actually has to hide. He can't do anything else right now. Jester being pressured heavily on the point here, but no one really trying to finish him off, and that gives us Spitfire time to use Prophet and Birdring to find Erster, and Popo finally goes down.
Yeah, you wonder if Endlayer lives there for a second, if Atlanta decides to invest a little bit more into that fight. So they would have had Rally and Sound Barrier, Graviton Surge to use. Maybe they're able to turn it there towards the end, but Endlayer like falls, you don't use it.
With Popo being as low as he was, and not being able to get your Winston into fighting form, like, you don't have a repair pack cooldown available. He sat there with 10 HP, he has to hide. He just took too much damage early on. London are doing a good job of shutting him specifically down. Popo, his primal rage was forced because he got straight up grabbed, so you can see where London's priorities are. He switched to Reinhardt now, though.
Another grab coming from Prophet already.
We're going to have two grabs here. The problem is the Rain don't have Transcendence, so this will probably be nastier for them than it will be for the London Spitfire. Prophet now. Oh! Both grabs get eaten at the same time. FRD in fury. Copycats across the map eating up those grabs, so they're off the table. Ultimate-wise now, there's a Transcendence that Pedosian still hasn't had to use. He's still alive. He actually got the repair pack there, but it's fine because Gesture was hale, hearty, and ready to keep heaving that hammer.
That's actually one of the first times I think we've seen that, where two Graviton Surges come down at the same exact time, and they meet the same fate, going right into D.Va's defense matrix. So,
I mean, there was a lot going on there.
Atlanta wants to come out with it, so they've now switched off of D.Va. They're going to be playing the Mei instead of D.Va here.
So why? Like, why on attack and not defense?
I mean, look, the Mei is pretty good if they can start to split some players off. Great survivability, almost like another tank. You see the wall there. Now Gesture can't get back to the rest of the squad.
Transcendence there from Bedosian. He didn't get cut off though, so he's still able to supply that healing, and the timing was very good for London to realize they had to go for the Zenyatta ultimate now, as opposed to when they were fighting on the point. Kodak is down. He used Transcendence as well, so the Rain are using ultimates before they even get to the point here, just to try and wipe the Spitfire off. And London has such good team fighters, Matt. It seems like nothing shakes these guys, and they just bound forward, let the grab go, 2 kills, and the fight's done.
Oh, and the way they attack that's perfectly. When the grab comes through, they know that the Mei wall is going to come from one direction, so what do? They send like an even amount of players through each of the entryways, so they're able to get the follow-up necessary.
So they realize they're going to kind of get forced to split by the wall.
Yeah.
They split themselves voluntarily and turn it into a pincer maneuver.
And I also think with how good Gesture is on Winston, right? He's able to use that mobility. Maybe you catch him a little bit too aggressive with the Mei wall, capture him from the rest of the team, see if you can pick him off early, gain some type of advantage in one of these fights.
So Atlanta are hoping that London actually try and stop them midway to the point here because they can use the Mei wall. This time the Spitfire say, I think we'll not run the risk of getting split in half by Mei.
Fury's hiding to the right here, potentially trying to eat like a blizzard or something.
Or a grab. What does he do? He gets stunned immediately. They're getting desuited. He means Erster can go for a grab pretty much straight away. I like this. Fury goes for a self-destruct. Oh, he gets Popo! Oh, you cannot allow that to happen. Atlanta still able to capture the point a little bit here, but the London Spitfire just going to move back in now. Blizzard. That's going to go from FRD, but who's following up on the fact that London were getting frozen? No one. He got eaten. He didn't even get to use it at all.
Yeah, gets eaten up there by Fury. We talk about how Fury, he's so good at D.Va at eating some of these ultimate abilities. Ate a Graviton Surge in the last big team fight, and then here eats that Blizzard.
Just another stellar performance from a top D.Va in the league. Masaa would have tried to stall out. That was the saddest Earth Shatter I ever did see. Popo attempting to make something happen in the dying seconds, but the London Spitfire, they look incredibly clean, Matt. It is very hard to find fault with the way that they're playing right now. They're playing just a no-nonsense brand of Overwatch, and the Rain fundamentally don't seem to be able to challenge them on that level.
I mean, this is the London Spitfire a lot of other teams were scared to see here in Stage 2, really coming out with strong performances, showing the versatility of a lot of their players.
There we go, boys cheering at the play of the game there, which for the record was Gesture. Half time's coming up. We break down what happened in those first 2 maps. We're back with that 3 and 4 soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
why isn't he been fielded? And then they're all over in terms of their coordination. They're not stringing anything together. They're playing scared. This is awful from Atlanta compared to what we were expecting from them. They've got to pick it back up in the second half. That just starts with their fundamentals. If you're going to play the roster, at least play it well.
Atlanta, you're miffing Josh off, cleaning up in the second half. We'll find out. Can they make it a comeback? We'll find out. Game 3 is coming up after this.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Well, as Sideshow pretty aptly pointed out on the halftime show, there definitely seems to be an issue in fundamentals for the Atlanta Reign so far in this series. Sorry, Atlanta fans, it's been a tough one for you so far. 0-2 up against rejuvenated London Spitfire, ironically. Rejuvenated playing the exact style that they said last stage they didn't like playing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they can bring in some damage dealers in as well, and I think a player like Birdring who probably wants to play your Widowmakers and whatnot, like
the shooty boys.
Yeah, I mean, when he's playing Brig, he's like, all right, well, if things don't work out, we can switch off of this instead of kind of like being stuck to play that
because
the entire
he was
time,
playing the Zarya in
Yes.
stage 1, and Prophet was playing the Brig on London, and now they switch roles and it looks much better. Thumbs up. And
Yeah,
Prophet
it
can play everything,
So we do have the substitution. Don't expect anything from the London Spitfire. So Baby Bay will come back in here for end layer this time. So one thing I know Josh mentioned, and literally like right before he mentioned, we were talking about it up here. It's like, where's Taco? Like, I feel like he was a really strong player for Atlanta in stage 1. Haven't seen him this far.
So FRD obviously is a flex tank player with a Sombra pocket. And we saw him obviously play a bit of the Diva. I mean, he kept up with Fury in terms of eating a lot of those ultimates. I mean, having that Blizzard eaten at the end of the round was pretty rough for the Atlanta Reign. But yeah, we haven't seen Darko all stage. Don't know what's going on there.
It just seems like teams are prioritizing having a player who can play like Flex Tank and Sombra or some kind of damage dealers in the mix. Where that's where I think you see FRD coming.
I think that is reasonable, especially in stage 1. It was important for your Diva player to be able to play the Sombra. But is it so important now, Matt?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is because with so much so many opportunities to play like Wrecking Ball and some extra damage dealers, you need to have a Sombra player who can help you take out this Wrecking Ball, which He's been such a strong hero.
So we got
so
Batiste here with a
I don't think London will
Zarya.
do this. So London will switch off. The gesture probably goes with Winston here, and it's kind of similar to what we... Oh, okay, no. So really big changes here. So first time we're going to see Prophet play the Pharah. So Prophet, very strong Pharah during Overwatch League. It's inaugural season. We'll get to see him play it here. Nuss on the Mercy to try and pocket him a little bit. Get some extra damage, and Birdring makes a change here and not going to play Break. He's going to play the Hanzo.
What do the Rain do against this? Against his Pharah?
Well, usually you would want like the Winston version of the triple tank, triple support against this, because Winston, a little bit more mobile than the Reinhardt, can jump onto one of these players, cause some issues. You're really relying on Ursa here. On the Batiste, the only hit scan, shoot this far out of the sky.
Is that consistent enough for you? Maybe not. Discord orb you saw there was actually placed on Nuss, so the Rain were hoping for a cheeky little pick up there, but look at the displacement. And you see that Prophet's trying to knock the rest of the Rain outside of Ursa's immortality field, and well, Prophet destroyed it anyway, then Kodak went down. So this just seems like a matter of time, Matt. It's inexorable, the London Spitfire. Pick after pick, Prophet has been floating above the fight this whole time without a care in the world.
It's just the constant damage that comes down from the Wrecking Ball, landing those pile drives and the knock-throughs, the Pharah up in the sky, you have the Sombra getting behind, the damage from Birdring on the Hanzo, and there's such difficult heroes to kind of track down. As you see now, Pokepo switches over to Winston, so you'll have Kodak also play Moira. Moira not as diveable as, let's say, like a Zenyatta, but I think London will probably see this and start to make changes of their own.
Again, I mean, Moira struggles to heal Winston when he's out and about doing things. That's often kind of the issue. You have to be relatively close to them, and your biotic orb doesn't travel very fast if you're trying to, send it long range.
I'm just more impressed with London. They're, I feel like at times teams stay on certain compositions for a little bit too long, that when they see something on the other side, they know immediately how they want to react. Go back to the spawn, switch things up. Big EMP that's going to come in here from Fury. It's going to connect to 4.
Yeah, Kodak's just going to get burnt down now. We can't fade away, and instead he fades to black. Pokepo now getting biotic grenaded, which is not fun for Winston. Even the bubble wasn't enough to keep him alive. They were able to get a couple kills, the Atlanta Rain, in this fight. Getting rid of Prophet is pretty important. Fury would love to try and take Baby Bay off the table and remove that extra Zarya damage, but as you can see, Baby Bay's he's long gone.
Yeah, I mean, Baby Bay builds up to that Graviton Surge, so you'll have that. So London moves back a little bit. They want to get a speed boost here to get Prophet back in the fight. Fury going, looked like he was going to go back to the spawn and potentially switch off of this to go to D.Va, but
now with that Sombra. Sombra into the Reinhardt, probably still feels good about it. I mean, it's great for Sombra, Matt, stage, because you can get over the top of the enemy really easily instead of trying to go through them now. Graviton Surge, yeah, Prophet was the intended target. The first one, nice little shift of the Discord orb, actually, straight onto Gesture before he got charged. So he gets just blown up by Pokepo, and the Rain finally get themselves a teamfight win for the first time in what seems like a while.
And Bedosian uses Nano Boost there, so he'll go back to spawn, switch things up, probably going to play the Zenyatta. Yep.
See, that's fundamentally solid from Atlanta, right? That's what you want to see. Them execute in a team fight that they should win.
Well, here's the issue for Atlanta. So Fury getting a little bit of some more progress here with the cart, getting a little bit of a back half.
He was dueling with Masaa.
Yeah, but now you're going to have an EMP Shatter available here for London. If you only combo those 2 ults, you'll come back into that next fight with Grab, Rally, and let's say a Sound Barrier. It'll be difficult for Atlanta to hold on.
He's just going to give us the flying haymaker here. All we have to do is press Q, we get the Earth Shatter. It does look like, yes, he was able to knock Urstra and Baby Bay down. They were on the stairwell, but close enough to be affected by that Earth Shatter. That could have not got anyone. It was pretty close, but it doesn't matter. Pokepo and Baby Bay are down. The beating heart of this Atlanta roster, especially in terms of their composition, FRD will try and stall things out.
That is the right position for Atlanta to play out of, though, because their options are London does a nice shot. They get to that high ground, and they want to force the Atlanta Rain into this courtyard where you're seeing, Prophet play right here. That's an opportunity for a massive, 6-player EMP, 6 shatter. They decide to take the fight to London. That's their best chance in that scenario. Maybe Gesture doesn't connect with the shatter onto the stairs and doesn't hit a few people, and they're able to make it work out of that. But
even with the Sound Barrier from Masaa, which still worked, it wasn't enough to keep them alive. Prophet now with a Graviton Surge. Fury having switched, of course.
You do have an ultimate advantage here for the Atlanta Rain, though.
Yeah.
You should be able to come back, win a fight or 2.
Transcendence when you get grabbed. Rally if you want to start a fight. You have what you need, essentially. Popo also setting up a self-destruct if Baby Bay gets a grab. So the Rain just need to play patient right now. There's no need to overextend at all.
You see Masaa up on the high ground here a little bit from Prophet's field. You see he's just going to maybe set up one of these big boobs, go for a big displacement.
There's the rally. So now the Rain want to go forward. They see the Gesture was a little low, but Popo just lays that shatter into Gesture's shield on the sound barrier. Gives the Spitfire the strength to go forward. Baby Bay's grab is eaten up by Fury. That is bad. Popo knocked over. Gesture with the fire strike. And the London Spitfire are a step ahead at all times by the looks of things. This time it's such a clean fight. Gesture building back up towards that Shatter himself again.
It's so hard when you look at London and how strong that roster is. Like, Fury has played so good today. I know eating the grabs on Anubis, eating the Blizzard, eating a grab here. In a fight where Atlanta has a big ultimate advantage, you take away one of those huge, like, game-changing ultimates. It's massive.
Oh, that had to be a repair pack for Popo now as well. It looks like the Spitfire want to dive on that Reinhardt. Self-destruct thrown in by FRD, but it's an Earth Shatter here. Baby Bay and FRD both knocked to the ground here, but it looks like the Diva can get back in the mech. Yes, he does, but Poco still went down. Baby Bay was knocked on his backside for a while and couldn't contribute to the fight. He now needs to really double down on the damage efforts here, with the London Spitfire really up too bothered. Masaa now has to just try and stall the payload out, but he's been discovered very early on into his foray. And it's up to Erster with Rally to try and stay alive. Have some extra impact here, and Kodak is forced to throw the Transcendence in as well. Baby Bay goes down despite this Zenyatta ultimate being committed to the fight, and it's going to be Popo. FRD drops in now with the pile driver, but Popo dies so quickly, and all FRD can do is spin around and try and keep this one going. It's full stall for the Atlanta Rain. That is the only option they currently have. They've not had a chance to assemble all of their players in one go, and Baby Bay just gets knocked to the ground. Very clean from the London Spitfire, as the rest of this series has been.
London, a very fast attack here on Blizzard World. It's really strong. I mean, only 6 deaths across the entire team there. Really strong performance. See if Atlanta can put together a good offense right after this.
Well, Matt, after a disappointing reverse sweep to Boston, Atlanta now need to do the same to the London Spitfire at this point in the series. Already 2 maps for London. They're looking like they're going to be struggling here on Blizzard World as well. London have 1 minute and 26 seconds left in their time bank after finishing a pretty long map, comparatively.
You know what's interesting is last year when we were getting into the Overwatch League, a lot of players came in, and I think in the damage dealer role specifically, it was like, oh well, I can only play like a few heroes, right? But I think as time went on, it became so important to have damage dealers who are so versatile, who could play like the whole list of the damage dealers. I feel like this year we're seeing it be the tanks now who have to diversify their pool, right? The off tanks have to play damage dealers. The main tanks have to play all of the main tanks. Like, you can't just sub people in and out.
Well, it also helps that a lot of the off tanks we're seeing play are actually DPS players that have to play Zarya. Flexibility is very important here.
Okay, so it looks like London. Okay, so what they did at the start was Gesture just put a turret down in Torbjorn just to have fun, and then Prophet told Gesture what they were running in terms of like tank line, and then they speed boosting everybody, so they get the jump on them. They know that they're playing the Reinhardt version of the 3-3. London comes out and they'll play the same thing.
Okay, so London Spitfire are pretty much all together now. They're a little bit late to the party, but it shouldn't matter too much. Fury and Gesture up to the high ground here, and keep an eye on that ticker. The Rain are close to that 33%, and they've got it now. Eventually, the Spitfire have to push back here. But the Rain had good position. Look, they're out of pressure Gesture so heavily here. London have to try and contest this in some way or another. Finally, Gesture is healed up and up, but FRD is kind of making it hard for them to get everyone ready to fight. They drop on Popo. Ursa's very low, though. You can see the Birdring was hoping to catch him, but Ursa's playing very safe. And Atlanta get Gesture. Very good management of resources here from Atlanta so far in this fight, but they lose Baby Bay now. A lot of damage, speaking of resources, but the Earth Shatter from Popo was a very good connection. Getting rid of Birdring here. The kills are being traded back and forth still, and the Graviton Surge going to be thrown out here. Prophet really trying to end the fight right here. Sound Barrier also used by Nuss, but Prophet was overextended a little bit too far. Gesture has returned, but it's a 3v4 kind of fight right now, and Nuss just gets ganged up on there by Ursa on the Brigitte, who's doing a huge effort here in this fight. And London, that did not look great.
Yeah, so they actually got the composition they wanted. Just doesn't work out, as we see Poco here with the 2K. Shatter charge here. Oh, there you go. Off the side.
Yeah.
Ocean, but...
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Prophet did commit that Graviton Surge towards the end. They only had 3 players alive. I was kind of surprised to see that happen. Birdring will use Rally. They want to take the fight up on the high ground. And Pogo actually gets stunned, but he gets knocked off in the process.
Yeah, it looks like the Rain have to drop and join him now, and the Spitfire tried to beat them to the low ground. Yeah, Popo, I mean, they were trying to keep him alive, Matt, but Fire Strike is burst damage, and he can't do much about that. But FRD gets 2 with a self-destruct. Prophet is low. He's trying to move up and just stall the payload a little bit longer. Die on the payload is what London is saying to their players. They are slacking off, Matt, and it shows.
Yeah, really strong start here for the Atlanta Rain. They've been able to combo a lot of these ultimates. London tried to get cheeky at the beginning. You know, they got there a little bit late to that first point. And it's kind of snowballed from there. Is London's going to need something big to be able to, stop the momentum that Atlanta's got right now.
I mean, they asked for this, though, because they gave that momentum to Atlanta with their approach to this round, and the players on this Atlanta roster are good enough to take it and run. Here comes a self-destruct over the top here. Now, I don't know how this is going to be set up. It's not really, but Baby Bay still goes down anyway. Oh, no Zaya for the Atlanta Rain now, so really they just can't fight here.
I mean, that's tough. Large source of the damage.
You use Rally as well.
Yeah, you use your own Rally. I mean, like we were talking about, like, where London needed something to turn the tides in their favor. I mean, that's a big one. You get them to use Rally, the Zarya dies, they have to back out. Gives you some more time to charge some of your own ultimates. Trying to get back to, about even here.
Fury wants to control this high ground now. Being out of the defensive matrix from the periphery of a lot of the Atlanta players' vision is very important. Oh, nice shield bash set up there. Birdring knocked over. Fire Strike from Popo to finish the job. Transcendence, well, doesn't really have a huge effect here, and Gesture charges forward. Despite that, though, was the Popo charging him back? Either way, the Atlanta Rain are looking pretty solid right now with the Transcendence in play. Graviton Surge thrown in. But Buster and Kodak have gone down. They're running out of supports here. FRD needs to connect to with the self-destruct, but it doesn't work. Big Fire Strike from Gesture late in the fight, by the way. That lays the Rain low. And with Bedosa and Nuss still alive in the back line, the healing is way in favor of London. They can start to brawl. They can start to play a bit more riskier and more aggressive, and they do.
Yeah, and another Earth Shatter that comes down from Gesture as he connects with 2 and just forces Atlanta back. So London able to stabilize. Obviously, the advantage of having that defensive spawn. But Ocean working his way towards another Transcendence. Got one really early in the fight. Getting one basically every minute now, minute 1 second. So doing a nice job on the hero that he played most of last year, Zenyatta, just being able to farm up a lot of that damage.
It's not Ursa here to set up a shatter here for Popo. I wouldn't call that the setup they were looking for here. It doesn't work out. Sound Barrier used by the Atlanta Rain, but Popo's taken too much damage already, and London see it. They notice the weak point in the Atlanta Rain set up there, and they pounce. And that had to be that. It had to be a shatter for Atlanta in that fight. They had nothing else to work with.
And I think one of the things that you can see when you're watching the London Spitfire play their Reinhardt version of the 3-3 is Baby Bay gets killed there late. They look way more decisive than they did in Stage 1. Like, Stage 1, sometimes it would look like they weren't sure whether they should be aggressive, be a little bit passive. It looks like they're all on the same page. And I think you can get away with, like, some of the tank-heavy comps. Look, maybe it's not the right time to be aggressive, but if you all go together, it's going to kind of work out. You have the health pool to survive.
That was the crux of this composition. Talking to Flame last stage, he said, yeah, look, just go forward and play aggressive with these tanks and supports, and you'll probably still win.
Good things happen, right?
Where's the setup here? Oh,
it dropped down.
Oh, it didn't quite land on the high ground there. It's kind of hard to lay that one the way you want it to. Gesture, Earth Shatter, he got Baby Bay there, but there was no follow-up, and Baby Bay's about to grab.
I love how he shattered to keep himself alive and then just charged completely away from the Atlanta Rain. trying to make it back to the rest of the team. Rally for Atlanta here. You may not even need this Graviton Surge. May be able to hold it.
I think Fury tried to bait it or by flying in and then quickly turning around and flying out, making it look like he wasn't going to be there. But Baby realizes absolutely no need to go for that. Getting a kill on Prophet there would have been really good. You'll have to leave it though.
Now you're just against the clock here for Atlanta. I mean, you're going to get around this first corner. And let's say, for argument's sake, you win that first fight. Second corner, you're about the same time as London. So it looks like you would finish with less time than London here in the time bank. But
It's going to take
you
about
just
that
need
long.
to finish the map. Yeah,
It's going to take about
that long to get
payload
there.
to
Yeah.
push to the end of the map. Grabs here for both teams. So there was a window where Baby was the only one with one, but he didn't see fit to use it. He tried to burn down Fury before he went for the grab, but he thought that this would be just as good an opportunity. Where's the setup? Nice little boof on Gesture, but it doesn't force them to get eaten up by the self-destruct. Now sound barrier for the London Spitfire and the Rain respectively. They both go for it. That's a large shadow though. Kodak and Baby knocked down, but they had sound barrier defense on them. That overshield protecting them from any follow-up that would have come. And again, Popo focused down first.
I mean, it's kind of what I was talking about. You're already at less than the time bank. So with that one fight, how long it lasted, how long it would even take the payload if you win that fight to get around the corner.
Look, and all the offensive ultimates from Atlanta Rain were essentially used there.
I mean, London, you have the opportunity here. You can invest into this fight. But because Atlanta spawned so close, you think they're going to get like 2 more fights even if you do win it. So if you're London, you may actually want the payload to move a little bit, get further away from the Atlanta spawn, then go heavy on the ultimate.
Baby keeps getting hit by fire strikes here, Matt. They've already used a repair pack on him once. This is why they had to wait until Popo's shield was almost broken before they could go forward the Rain. They couldn't afford to get aggressive with a half-health Zaya. Now they have a chance. They need to put on pressure here. And look how they're just trying to take ground, forcing the Transcendence, and then back away. They realize they forced out an important ultimate, but London aren't willing to let them escape so easily. Popo now charges into the little alcove, and Birdering looked like he was caught. But Popo wasn't there to protect his team from the Earth Shatter, and that's going to get brought down by Gesture. The Graviton Surge also thrown in there. Atlanta Rain, you can see the cogs ticking. You saw what they tried to do by forcing Bedoshin's ultimate out. But the Spitfire chased them down, gave them no choice but to fight.
And London wants to get aggressive here. You have Rally. Make it costly to get out of the spawn for Atlanta, even if they get back to the cart. Because then the London Spitfire have defensive spawn advantage, and they'll have, the ability to come back with some ultimates of
Masaa
their own.
has to try and backcap here. He's gone to the payload, but London see it straight away. They know exactly what the Rain are trying to do. Oh, Baby Bay again! Graviton Surge eaten up by Fury, and that option's off the table. FID self-destruct to the high ground. I don't think he wanted to leave it perching there in the end. It didn't really do too much. Now with the Transcendence, the London Spitfire can get aggressive once more, and they will. They push up. Popo knocked out of position almost onto the low ground. He'll try for a shatter. It's mostly blocked, but Birdring does go down. Gesture got bubbled, but he's getting focused hard, and the Rain finally find a way to come back.
Yeah, but what will happen is London will come out of the respawn here. You'll be able to sustain for a little bit, then Prophet will have this Graviton Surge. Kodak does have Transcendence though, so all that healing, may have to use it before the grab to keep everybody up.
Prophet will go down to 0 charge now, having to respawn back in, so it might be a while before he gets that ultimate. But Birdring has moved over towards the Batiste, and also Gesture drops in. You see the Birdring's immortality field was taken down, but it was enough to keep Gesture alive as he went for the engagement. Transcendence now for the Atlanta Rain. They try and stay in this. Popo pushing forward. Look at the Prophet. He got it now. Big damage off the table. Baby follows up onto Birdring as well. Kodak and Bedoshin actually taking each other down. A gentleman's duel, but Fury ends it. He throws in the bomb and gets 2. It'll take a little bit more than that, but right now the Spitfire are looking solid, trying to chase down FRD, but he gets his mech back. And that's important. Now the 2-on-1 with Masaa rejoining. The London Spitfire are going to be forced now just to stall things out. Fury did well to stay alive for as long as he did, but the self-destruct here will take Fury out of the picture. Birdring tried to throw an immortality field in there, but it wasn't able to keep his team alive either. Prophet now on the Tracer. Not really being bothered too much, but he needs to be careful of the Brigitta. Urst is looking through, trying to chase him down. Shield bash stun and remove the Tracer, but Nuss goes down first. Birdring finally missing. Atlanta going to get there. It wasn't pretty, but they finished the map.
Oh, they barely get there, as I thought Fury with that self-destruct was going to clutch it out for the London Spitfire, but Atlanta able to complete the map. No time remaining, though, in the time bank.
Now it's going to be the Spitfire now just to see if they can get a tick on point A in the overtime right after this. best result that the Atlanta Reign can claim in this map is a draw, which would essentially mean that there's no way they can win the series now. So based on the composition here, they look like they are trying to hold out for the long haul and at least not lose another map here. But following Blizzard World, they'll only have one more chance to get a map win, and Spitfire already have two.
So we saw the issue with this composition that Atlanta ran the other day. It was not Atlanta that ran it, but the main issue is that when you get by Baby Bay, who's playing the Bastion up on the high ground, and you can just contest, it's very hard with the rotation for the Bastion to get around to that backhand side when you have the damage of the Pharah and the Hanzo coming down. So we'll see how Atlanta plays this comp. So we saw yesterday not work out too great.
Prophet will start off here. Consistent shield pressure is what he'll be able to provide, as well as other kinds of pressure, like putting damage on towards Masaa. He's one here.
Baby Bay gets swept on the rotation, just jumping down as the Bastion.
Nice immortality field thrown out there by Kodak. That would have been lights out for the Reign had he not applied that. Baby Bay getting picked off there. Okay, so this allows the London to take some more ground now. The Reign had to very quickly back away, almost having lost around there and then. And this is Prophet's job right now. He is working on the shields.
Hey, look, he just needs to pump damage into the shields, Bird Ring as well. You're playing around like, just some displacement from gesture hacks that come in from Fury.
One chance, Matt.
You have to have just FRD contest the point. They do get a hack onto him, so they're trying to burn this D.Va down.
Buddy getting healed up, Kodak pressured as well. Birdring gets Erster. Big damage missing from the table now for the Atlanta Reign. A gesture, he's gotten himself in amongst the pigeons. Kodak's immortality field goes down. He tried to put up an amplification matrix, but it wasn't well placed. And Prophet was able to rain the rockets in on top of him. Popo just stands inside the Dragon Strike, almost accepting his fate. And now with the Atlanta Reign essentially being cleaned off here, Erster was brought back to life. Baby Bay has to save the day. He finds Ocean with one of those rockets now, looking for an airborne shot on Nas, but no, it's not enough. Prophet drops in with a barrage. FRD doesn't have enough defense matrix to keep him alive. He tries to force London off the point to get the overtime done. And Prophet does have to hide. That leaves Birdring quite vulnerable here. Atlanta have a chance. Masaa gives up his life to try and go for a crazy resurrect, but it won't do the job. Concussive Blast looked like it would have won the round for the Spitfire there as Prophet had knocked Kodak away, but Popo now returns on their Winston. Here's an EMP though. The mines drop in for Jester now, and it's so dangerous. Popo can't stay alive. He can't even move. He'd otherwise get blown up. Notice Baby Bay hit a mine as soon as he translocated onto the point, and that looks like it'll do it here. The London Spitfire will take map number 3. It took them a while to break this bunker composition map, but they found the picks.
Yeah, and it seems like teams have really figured out how to break this composition with the Bastion in the Batiste. That does not work for the Atlanta Reign here on Blizzard World as London take the series 3-0, potentially with a chance to get that 4-0 sweep.
Yeah, one more map to come, and it's important for London who want to start looking real good in Stage 2. We'll see you for that in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Just like they drew it up. The London Spitfire walk into this game knowing it's a must-win, as they all are for them at 4-4. And they look very clean. Execution, really can't complain about it. I think their defense on Blizzard World was a little questionable there. Obviously, they got shaken off that point pretty quickly. And when you give Atlanta a chance, when you give them an option to keep playing or to get a time extension or anything like that, you are taking a big risk. However, they do end up winning the map there, breaking the bunker composition, and Gibraltar will be our final map of the series.
Yeah, and although Atlanta has looked good early on in the season, this has been a rough series because you're also trying to work two new players into the mix against a team who has been playing together for such a long time now. I mean, think about even in scrimmages before the Overwatch League last year, all season long last year, playing up until this season, just way more experience playing together for the players on the London Spitfire as opposed to Atlanta, who adds FRD and Baby Bay this week, right? So trying to work those two players into the lineup, get game ready in real games, so to speak.
And now, of course, in a stage which requires you to be able to play what we see here, which is tank-heavy compositions from the Rain, but also play a lot of damage dealers here, which we may end up seeing from the Spitfire. I mean, Gesture will be happy with this map. London have already won it once in this stage. It allows them to really play a lot of that Winston to great effect.
So they're going to actually, let's see if they get so they're going to have Fury on the Risa here, they're trying to use a halt here to pull somebody out and then get the hook. So they don't actually do so. So they'll go back to the spawn, make some changes.
Yeah, wouldn't be terribly surprised if we do see Zaya here. Profit.
Yeah.
They're pretty standard so far for the Spitfire. I appreciate that as well. They're not mucking around.
The only thing I was wondering is if Gesture goes back and plays Reinhardt. We've seen teams play the Reinhardt into the Winston here. Usually on Gibraltar, you don't exactly see it because of the verticality. You see like with the Winston trying to dive up, but when teams want to take this fight underneath, into this tunnel, that's where the Reinhardt could be advantageous.
If you're struggling to get through the choke, you absolutely want to go for something like that. The Rain will drop on top of you either way, though, and you can see that's what they're trying to do here. The Spitfire, well, they didn't die on the car, which is interesting. So they're going to be dragging this fight out a little bit. They must believe that they can win it, but with Fury getting desuited, their options are getting more and more limited, and they've lost a minute now, when otherwise they might have only lost, 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the idea was to win it. Gesture actually moves the payload, underneath the tunnel, so just giving them a little bit of space.
Look at how much ult percentage you've given to Atlanta doing this.
So you can see just, Baby Bay's just mechanics is Fury still outside of his Diva mech. Birdring comes around the corner trying to help him. Oh, he's got to run away. Prophet now has to use the bubble.
This could be a spawn camp, yeah. I mean, now with Baby Bay supercharged up, the London Spitfire down a player or so, they just got one fight and 5 ultimates is what Atlanta have gotten because the Spitfire drag it out so much.
Yeah, but what'll happen is, Fury will end up eating an ultimate, right? And then they'll have the ultimate advantage now, and it'll turn the tide. Just kind of how the series has gone this far, right?
Yeah, it's true, and it's not analysis, but you can almost expect it, right? Baby Bay, will he just eat this one in? No, he's being very patient here.
Yeah.
You can see the focus on Andre's face. He ain't messing about.
But I think with how, the reason you have to be so cautious is because of how Fury has played it the whole series, where he's been able to eat some of these key ultimates.
Gesture's forced the Primal Rage here. London now have to start using some of those ultimates to get aggressive. Baby Bay might be caught here. He's taken down, but Ocean's also able to get the Transcendence there. The Spitfire almost feign weakness. They pretend like they're in a bad spot, and they force the Rain to commit a little bit, then they go forward themselves here. Payload, well, it's not moving right now, we'll say that much. Fury was desuited, but goes into the self-destruct here. I don't think Birdring's going to get out of this one very easily. Popo is very low, in fairness, but he has a bit of help, and that's really all it takes in this game. Lands on top of Bidoshin. The payload is no better for it, and both teams have used a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, but, London forces every ultimate out, and they hold on to their Graviton Surge. So they'll probably end up with a Graviton Surge plus, a rally here. The amount of damage that Birdring would be able to do, just kind of swinging into that Grav. So you did need Atlanta Rain to use all their ultimates. And the reason you have to play a little bit more passive there if you're Atlanta and just wait a little bit longer is because you're so scared about one of those, the Graviton Surge getting eaten there by Fury. You have to make sure you land it. It allows London to build up some ultimates and vests, which in turn, you have to use some more ultimates to secure the fight.
Repair pack used and engagement has been conducted. They're all going to go down here. The Spitfire again, bait Atlanta in. They know they're going to be trying to play aggressive here. And they walked straight into a Graviton Surge, and they had no support ultimates to mitigate the impact of that whatsoever. And this should realistically secure London now with this point. Might see FRD try and drop down. If Gesture had stepped in the doorway, he could have body blocked this, but it'll be a self-destruct bubble thrown on top. Gesture absconding just in case the bubble is broken.
Atlanta wants to fight this. They've used Rally as well here as they come back.
You have to go for it. Popo close to a Primal Rage here. Kodak has a Transcendence. We'll see how much London will be forced to use here. Actually, I pushed back, just positioned away from the payload to such a degree that they can't really fight. Massive Popo, that's very aggressive from them here, and London will peel for that. Yeah, not ideal late in the fight decision-making from the Atlanta Reign. Maybe hoping to force more ultimates out. So if that was the plan, that worked. They did get Badoshan to use Transcendence here, and Kodak still has his.
Yeah, and they push Kodak back through the doorway, and Badoshan stands there with the Transcendence, just blocks him, so no line of sight for the Zenyatta, not able to get any of the healing or discords down, and then Badoshan rotates back out, trying to heal some other teammates with Transcendence, and Gesture just stands in the spot, continues to block the doorway.
I wonder if Atlanta is playing, I guess, slightly, quote-unquote riskier because of the way the series is right now. It's the last map, and
No, I mean, I think Atlanta's still just trying to find their play style with this new roster, as Grab comes down, self-destruct as well, doesn't connect with anything.
Now, looks like self-destruct landed on top of the shuttle in the end, so no one was really affected by that one whatsoever. However, the London Spitfire now starting to chain some of these fights together, Matt, which can become a snowball. The ultimate economy and the pressure of the abilities that London are able to get back fight after fight is going to become quite oppressive to play against. It will be Baby Bay with a Graviton Surge here. So, do you want to see him just throw this in really quickly before Badoshan can get Transcendence?
I think it all, you have to just kind of keep track of Fury. They'll probably try and, gain Baby Bay some energy, try and get Fury demexed, or just get him to run away.
It's too risky just to throw it out before the Zen can ult.
And then potentially try and get it. I mean, with the Zen ultimate, right? I mean, you have a self-destruct that can kind of just power on through some of that.
Badoshan has Transcendence here, so the Spitfire have an answer now to the Graviton Surge.
So when they use Rally, they decide to back up London. So London backs up. They do get Fury low, which is what I was talking about, but not an opportunity to use a grab here to capitalize on it.
Gesture forced to Primal. There we go. Take a little bit low again. Time after time, Fury has denied Baby Bay the opportunity to bring his team back in these fights.
I
and
will
even
say,
now,
I mean, watching from Baby Bay's POV, you have no clue he's coming. I mean, that's exactly what they wanted. They got Fury low, and it looks like he just kind of darts away, and it's just the second that Baby Bay's like, okay, this is the right read, right? I got him to move,
he
and
darts
it's just
away,
a bait.
then he immediately 180s and flies back in. We saw this done last stage as well, and nice little boop there. That was well set up. I think it was a whip shot to knock Erster out into the open to be affected by that self-destruct, but now London are starting to cruise.
Fury has mastered that timing, just being able to bait that out. Have no clue that it's even happening. Baby Bay and Masaa, they get a little bit of a forward spawn, so London takes advantage, pushes on up, secures those eliminations. You're going to have all three support ultimates here for the London Spitfire coming online. So you'll probably need one or two of them to get around this bend that you're going to see here. It's very difficult to get around this corner.
Transcendence for Badoshan and Kodak respectively here, so we'll probably see at least a period of just trading, seeing if you can get anyone particularly low, force at the repair pack. Couple headshots here from Badoshan. You watch those health bars at the top of the screen here. Popo just got a repair pack given to him there. So London might want to try and apply a little bit more pressure. There's a Graviton now from Proper, but he is quite low. He might need to use it soon. Badoshan holds off on the Transcendence. He doesn't want to use it here. Looks like they want to force this and see if they can actually get a fight win when they don't use Transcendence. There it is. Proper now can commit with that Graviton Surge. It falls to the sound barrier. No! What?
Oh, this is absurd.
Baby Bay, unbind Q. You're not going to get to use it anyway. Fury just eats yet another Graviton Surge. He cannot get a break.
Baby Bay has a little smile on his player cam. He just can't believe. Yeah, at this point, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you tried to get him devac. You baited it out so many times. Fury is just reading it so well today.
Fury is just on another level, man. He's always ready for that. Tracking it. Some big IQ stuff now. Nuss over the top here. Took a little bit of damage, actually. To be honest, from Baby Bay, he tried to go over the top. Earthshatter comes in, and Badoshan could not save Gesture. Even with the Transcendence now, so he has to back on out. Baby Bay, don't grab. Save it for now. And it looks like it's going to be an easy cleanup for the Reign. So 12 seconds left here. I appreciate this. I understand why. You go for a stagger. It's going to make it much harder for Atlanta to even be here ready to fight. And there's 5 seconds left. London have to go now, but this could have turned against them. Popo and Baby Bay have both gone down now. Transcendence has been used, but it's just really to keep the Reign alive. Now they're going to try and hang around and fight, but London are back. They've got 5 players now as Prophet sets up, and he's on the Widowmaker. He's made the switch to Precious Spitfire from long range now. They're not going to be ready for this, man.
Yeah, a little bit of a role reversal as we got Prophet on the Widowmaker, and you got Birdring playing the Tracer here. As Prophet trying to locate one. Birdring's picked up Kodak, as this is definitely turnable here for London.
Prophet actually managed to shake off the Diva that was pressuring FRD, going for another shot. He does find it, though. It's a 2-for-1 trade, though, and the Rain are running out of players now, and Earthshadow's going to knock Ursa to the ground. FRD trying to hide by the boosters and the payload, but they'll find him eventually. They always do. Swinging a hammer and E, be done. Payload now released. We'll push forward to the end of the map, and London break through. You can see... Again, I've said this the last couple of maps actually, you can see what Atlanta are trying to achieve there. The Graviton to catch the Brigitte, to stall out London, but they spawn close.
I mean, you know, Atlanta is using their ultimates at the right time. It's just London is able to just fight on through it, or, you know, Babyface just getting these grabs eaten, and it's so difficult for Atlanta to deal with because they're making the right reads, it's just not working out.
And Fury has 2 ultimates negated on this map alone, and this guy's just like, well, you know what? What do you do? I'm trying, bro.
You know, he did a few eaten on Anubis as well, as Fury has really made the impact today with that defense matrix, just being able to take away some of these big game-changing ultimates. Graviton Surge, the Blizzard. It's really made a difference today. You know, the last one was great because Baby, you know, the one before he used the solo one on a Birdring was using Rally, so he decided to, you know, take him out before like the time ran down, give them an advantage. The one before that got eaten though, you know, he just peeked over the monitors. I can see Baby just smiling on screen. Kodak's laughing. They're like, man, like,
they know.
Like, what do you do? Yeah.
But it's quite likely we'll see, you know, Desire from Baby Bay again. Now, London here go with the Winston setup, so they're playing the Reinhardt. Atlanta, again, you mentioned it before, Atlanta could sort of switch Popo to Ryan to try and pressure.
You know, we talked about Baby Bay with having his grabs eaten, but, you know, right now, I mean, they're putting down some more damage than Prophet and the Zarya rolls. You know, a little bit less average energy, but kind of comparable in terms of, you know, charge time. Only about like 10 seconds or so separates the two. So actually having a pretty good game. It's just the Graviton Surge. It's not really... I mean, you got 2 kills off the back of Babyface Graviton Surges. 2 of them have been eaten, and 9 Graviton Surge kills that come through off of Prophet's grabs. Graviton Surge, though, is... I mean, you're playing in such mobile compositions, man. The grab is the best tool against them to take all of that mobility away. Ooh, Masaa took a lot of damage early there. He actually heads straight down the underpass and away to heal up for a little bit. I mean, they had the high grab. I mean, with those difference in Graviton Surge kills being at 7, it's essentially like 2-1 team fights, pretty much, for London in their favor with those grab usages. Fury just dropped down there to contest the payload while the rest of his team was setting up now, and London having that high ground, they can sort of choose who to drop on top of. So that's important for Gesture because it's easy for him to identify weaknesses if there's, you know, Master's out of position or Kodak is not protected sufficiently. Yeah, but when Atlanta rotates all together, it allows Gesture to just dive in and get some of that, you know, cleave damage where Winston can, you know, his gun just attaches everybody in the area. As you see, he's already built up to, you know, almost 70% of his primal rage. Gesture falls back. See, Discord Orb's been thrown on him. So the Atlanta Ren will make some progress here. London have to commit eventually fully, and they're probably hoping for Midocean to have Transcendence by that point. Couple more orbs and he'll have it. Gesture gets bubbled immediately. You can see up on high. Popo tried to go for the pick-off, but got booped or shield bashed by Birdring. Bit of a split setup here with Gesture going down now, and it had to be a Transcendence from Midocean. He got it, but it was a little bit too late. Now, the Rain have their own. Not only do they have a player advantage, they're able to match the healing of the Spitfire in this fight. Support ultimates galore as Nas goes for the sound barrier. Ursta uses Rally. Every support ultimate got used here by the Atlanta Rain, and they still lost Kodak somehow. Midocean does go down. You saw he was positioned towards a rider screen, a little bit far forward. And it looks as if the rest of the Spitfire aren't going to commit any more to this fight. You can see in the background, they're just moving away. Yeah, I mean, you could have potentially invested like Self-Destruct, Primal Rage until Prophet got back to use, you know, Graviton Surge. But Atlanta pushing up, though. They want to get some of these eliminations as you're able to take out Prophet. He gets that forward spawn. So he gets the spawn that's attached to the last checkpoint, not this far one, which is attached to the new one. This is hunger. Great aggression here. And meanwhile, the payload has 2 players on it. So Atlanta are getting a really good push. And they might be able to get through the most perilous part of this second phase here, right in the middle. They do eventually go down. They knew this would happen. This can turn against them now. Popo does need to get out to safety. He was kind of, I think he was redirected as he tried to jump away. He thought about primaling. I could see it. He was waiting for the jump cooldown. He goes down now, and that may have backfired for Atlanta a little bit there. Yeah, I mean, they get some payload progress, but not a ton. They may have went a little bit too deep. Like, you probably could have stopped when you got that kill on a Prophet and then backed up. Not really a reason to push all the way on through. I think they wanted to get the payload, you know, like past the... To the bridge. Past the bridge. It's not. You'll see it's just around the corner here, so they didn't quite get it all the way.
Nice bubble from Baby They there. Throwing on a Kodak. Now going to be caught in the Graviton Surge though, and you wait for this one. Oh, it was inside the bubble as well. It was like a snow dome of carnage. Fury drops to the self-destruct, and yeah, if you're not playing Ryan, the best you can do as a grab to Winston is hit E and hope for the best.
Yeah, just potentially, they have that bubble save you, but Fury with a great self-destruct placement right inside of the bubble. It's always a sad sight when you're stuck inside one of those and the Winston bubble comes in. It's just bubbling the self-destruct into your own death there. How do you get the London Spitfire off this high ground? I think that's what the Atlanta Reign are going to have to figure out.
Yep. You need to get to the payload without taking damage and force them to fight you here. For fear of, let the payload go too far. But Baby Bay goes down first, Matt. Not good. Kodak missing. Fury gives up his mech for this happily. He'll get desuited. He'll be able to get back in just a moment here. It's too far for him to walk back to spawn, though, so he'll have to just wait.
And it's so interesting when we see...
he's getting taxied. Fury's getting taxied to spawn.
You'll actually have this self-destruct, I believe... Nope, not used there. Yeah, FRD does use it to get a new mech back, so... See, now they're going to have Fury switch off, switch back, get a new mech back. So they value the mech over the ult charge.
Yeah, exactly. You did lose your ult charge that you got, but I mean, if you think about it, Fury only used it quite recently. So it looked like he only got about 30% on, so he seemed to be happy with that. He's returned to the fight now, so nice little play by Spitfire. That's the little things that really count in cases like that. Gesture has to take cover here. He just got a huge amount of alpha damage thrown at him. Sound barrier comes out. Prophet seems like he was able to benefit from it, even though there was a Winston bubble that was in the way. Now the Transcendence from Mid-Ocean is applied. Well, Popo's caught inside a Graviton here. There is a Transcendence from Atlanta as well, so that grab doesn't really do much for London now. Sound barrier from Atlanta. London don't have one, and that could be their undoing here. Baby Bay is charged up, doesn't die early in the fight now, and he's exactly where he wants to be.
You have a good grab that comes in from Baby Bay. You don't really get a ton out of it, but they're forced to use some support ultimates. You have the support ult advantage if you're the Atlanta Reign, and you turn that in your favor once that sound barrier comes down from Masaa.
Now, London finished the map, but in overtime, they still get a time extension, though, because this is a pure escort map. If the Reign have time left in the bank, both teams will get that extension. So, even though you see 0 there might still be an attack from both sides. Atlanta need to finish the map. Baby Bay. Do you love this being charged up? No! The Spitfire realized that Baby Bay was glowing. He was ready to fight.
And he's so far up.
He put himself out of position to go for the health pack to stay alive, but he just walked straight into the trap.
I think he probably imagined that London would play a little bit more passive there. Maybe he thought his teammates were a little bit closer, moving that cart, but not the case. Now London, when they switch over to the Reinhardt, you're going to have Popo switch over to Reinhardt. You can play close. You can get aggressive in some of these chokes in the open spaces.
Atlanta have a fair bit of time, in all fairness. They can afford to play patiently here. They've got a couple of those important ultimates online. Once the grab's there, they have grab bomb, and Poco will just need to set up with a charge or something similar. Okay, Transcendence is forced from Atlanta here. London, in all fairness, to use her idea to try and come forward with, and Prophet drops the grab here. Erster goes down. Setup is good. Gesture gets the charge. Popo went able to shield his team from their self-destruct. And Atlanta now back to spawn once more. And London, you kind of understand this, right? Wanting to play a little bit further forward.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you play forward, you force... potentially an issue where you can land a big shatter here is, well, let's say Baby Bay throws down the graph, right? And then you want to swing through it. It could be like a counter shatter here opportunity. So you have also sound barrier and transcendence. So you have a lot to power through. Let's see if Fury can get another one of these eats. You see the defense matrix bar building up there on the right. He was really low, didn't have any usage of it. Now has full usage of it.
Trying to keep that defense matrix stocked up. It's a resource that needs to be managed as well. So Fury jumps in the middle of it, throws out that defense matrix, but Baby Bay still gets the grab off. He waited it out. Good patience there from Baby Bay. Oh, the Earth Shadow was beautiful though. Popo set that one up very nicely by knocking everyone airborne just as the Graviton Surge stopped holding people down. So they were flung upward, and then they got hit by the self-destruct. 45 seconds left in the round. Atlanta Reign, good leader now. London have to stall. Fury switches to Reinhardt here. They got a wrecking ball for Gesture.
Yeah, the Reinhardt just for this sustain onto the card is Gesture just trying to swing around, extend this for as long as possible. The Nuss coming out with the Batiste, trying to get that immortality field.
Grab. May not end it here. Prophet still goes down. No, it looks like that wasn't going to be enough. Fury will be buffing around a little bit, Verdering on the Tracer, trying to relive the glory days. London continue to stall. But London can find like one kill here, it would be big, but very hard for them to do that. Atlanta will finish the map as well. Even though there wasn't a lot of time left in the bank, both teams will still have one more chance to come forward here out of the gates on Gibraltar. and show us what they've got. Yes, it's already a 3-0, but there's 15 seconds separating these two teams in time bank. They'll both get a chance to attack with Atlanta going first. We'll see how this one turns out after the break. I mean, Fury completely shutting down Atlanta for most of this series. Baby snuck a couple grabs in here, but I mean, this guy, I don't think I've seen so many ultimates.
No, I know that is the most this season. So
oh, really?
Fury has actually negated 6 ultimates throughout the course of this series. So
that is the current record.
Really impressive. London on offense here. Looks like we're going to see a variation of the pirate ship as you'll have the Orisa, Bastion, setting it up on the card.
Why not? I mean, if you want to try and guarantee yourself maximum progress, seems reasonable. This also forces Atlanta to be aggressive, which is not something that they need to be encouraged to do generally.
You also have the Batiste in play here for Bidoshin, so the immortality field to keep the Bastion topped up. How do you want to attack this if you're Atlanta? You can't just drop down. I think you kind of have to play above this bridge.
FRD needs to be on point with this defense matrix, Matt. He'll need to drop in first. Stop the Bastion damage. I'll need to pick up. This is the best
right
chance
here is
for
their
Rain
best
to get
opportunity.
him. Have to go now. Any later and it'll be over. Prophet taking a lot of damage. They're trying to heal him up. Immortality field thrown down. And Prophet is able to do some work, but not enough. FRD takes him out. And now there's not much damage left for the London Spitfire to be working with here. They are pretty much trying to retreat, but they won't give them the chance to do even that. Very nicely done by Atlanta. That was what they needed.
Yeah, that was the best opportunity for them to attack. They had the opportunity to drop down from the bridge. You see Fury potentially trying to force OT. Doesn't really matter, though. That is where the payload progress will stop for the London Spitfire. And I know it's just you see the Atlanta guys on stage laughing. I have a feeling they may try the same here.
But look,
okay, guys,
we have seen top teams mess that up. Right? The sequencing of Diva to fly down, defense matrix, Zarya bubble, your Winston, and they managed to very quickly break the immortality field that Bidoshin threw in there. So you can't fault them for that. That was well responded to.
Good play by Atlanta.
And also, get some respect back from London. Be like, hey, don't you try and throw that. Look at us.
Well, I mean, I think that's a look we're gonna. I mean, we see it on Junkertown all the time, right? I think there's some more escort maps come in. You see Atlanta that they may have lost this series here, but I think they kind of understand. Like they're working, adding FRD and adding Baby.
Atlanta fans can know that their team will always keep their heads up in these situations as well.
You also have Kodak. I know Kodak and Dogman have kind of rotated in and out sometimes. So now it seems like Kodak has played the whole series, so getting in more runs. So
yeah, nice to see the German get to stretch his legs a bit. So that's the box of victory here for Atlanta. That's as far as they need to go. And that was obviously exactly how far London got last round. They have 1 minute and 15. So slightly more time. 15 seconds in Overwatch terms is a flash.
The London Spitfire go in and play this close. You would not come out with the Moira and the Reinhardt composition if you wanted to play in that open space towards the end. They wanted this close around the corner.
They want to they have to stop the payload early, Matt. So they might try and use the underpass to do that. Ooh, nice.
Little boot from Masaa. But this kind of puts them in the position that they would have played anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know if London really want to fight here. I guess they think they'll get a second fight if they lose this one out there. Again, Masaa, good displacement. Jester's taking too much damage here. Getting pushed around that corner. Forced to charge. Jester may have been knocked off the map if he didn't charge there, but Ersti goes down a bird ring early. Now, the balance of power starts to shift a little bit in this fight. They lose Jester, so London will be backing up likely anyway. But they slowed down the Rain for now.
Yeah, Masaa is such a nuisance there for the London Spitfire in that first fight. He was able to get up top for the Atlanta Rain, get those boops down.
See the new boop, right? For this, what it can do to you. Because I think it takes vertical motion into account much more now.
So still in one fight territory. Baby really charged up on the Zarya. Already at his Graviton Surge. Bidoshin with the Coalescence could actually bait out of the Graviton Surge if he gets stuck in it.
Coalescence, though, may not be enough healing. Always forced to use it early. Baby is just chilled for now. There's no reason for him to go aggressive. If they can burn Jester early in the fight, that will be huge, but he gets a repair pack and he is kept alive. Baby surely time for a grab soon. London actually get theirs off first, so Baby his patience Will it actually help him or prove to be his downfall in the end? He goes for the grab now, but Earthshatter shuts down Atlanta Reign. They can't follow up. Fury self-destruct. They get Baby Bay. It's traded out though. Fury does go down to FRDs, but it's not going to be enough. London able to slow things down. Bidoshin is missing. London don't have a lot of healing, but they do have Zaya. So much damage. Masaa getting stunned here. He's still able to stay alive thanks to his mechanics. But he'll have to slink away for now. FRD is going to be able to hold the fort until Ursa returns to the fight. Now a rally for Birdring, so the remaining combatants for the London Spitfire have that extra durability to go forward with. Reinforcements are on the way from London. Prophet is close to yet another grab. He's so charged up, tearing through the Atlanta Reign right now. And Baby Bay switched to Tracer, so no grab for Atlanta. And there it is. Prophet lays it down. Popo, you saw he was caught in that one. So was the rest of his team. And London put a stop to the shenanigans. They try some cheese on the offensive side, but then they turn around with, again, the no-nonsense composition. 2 grabs for Prophet, by the way, in the space of 1 fight. That's pretty darn nice. And the Atlanta Reign are stopped short here. They will not get a map win, which is what they were really aiming for here towards the later part of the series. London, though, squeaky clean.
Oh, and I think the biggest difference in this match thus far was Yuri's play, whether he was playing, Sombra, Diva, there he switches the Tracer at the end. Finished this map with 46 eliminations, 19 final blows. Puts together a very strong series overall. We know a lot of the players, they talk about him being the best Diva in the league. I think you saw it today.
Again, the London Spitfire seem to be running headlong into an era where they'll be feared by one and all. They're familiar with it, but they definitely want to be able to keep it going throughout the entirety of this season. There's much to prepare for. Stage 2 playoffs, and of course, the big one. So keeping those map wins and series wins coming is very important. Let's head down to the stage they mattered here a little bit from Gesture with Danny.
Thanks, guys. What is up, everybody? I am here with Gesture from London Spitfire. Woo! Congratulations. Great job. Now, sort of a slow start against the Florida Mayhem, but today you guys seem to be very, very dominant against Atlanta Reign. 4-0, clean sweep. Did anything change in between those 2 match days? 자, 어떻게 보면 플로리다 때는 아무래도 좀 스테이지 첫 번째 이제 경기고 해서 좀 더딘 모습을 보여준 것 같아요. 당연히 너무나 잘하시긴 하셨지만, 근데 오늘 또 너무나도 더 좋은 모습을 보여줘서 좀 혹시 그 2 경기 중간 시간 동안 뭐가 좀 변한 게 있는지 궁금하네요.
저희가 최근에 연습할 때 많이 팀합적으로 많이 신경을 쓰고 있기 때문에 그게 조금씩 나아지면서 요즘 좀 많이 저희 팀이 나아져서 그렇게 된 것 같아요.
So these past couple of days, and one of our focuses on scrims and practices, we're working on our teamwork. That I think is starting to really show and pay off. So that's why we were able to dominate the Atlanta Reign today. Alrighty, next question. You guys will be playing against the Philadelphia Fusion next week, 1 game. I know you guys defeated them for the Grand Finals playoff last season, but they beat you guys again for the start of this season. So this is your 3rd time going up against them. Gesture, how confident are you that you guys could beat them? 자, 필리 아무래도 그랜드 파이널 때도 한번 했고 이번 시즌 첫 번째 경기 때도 한번 했고 이제 3번째인데 확신하십니까? 이길 수 있을까요?
뭐 확실하다 말하기보다는 필라델피아도 잘하는 팀이라서 이제 열심히 해서 이겨야겠지만 저번처럼 막 무력하게 지지는 않을 거예요. 이길 것 같아.
So because Philadelphia Fusion is also a great team, I can't really say if we're going to win 100%, but we will try our best to win, and we're going to work on that. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Everybody give it up for Gesture. Uber, Mr. X, back to you guys.
Thanks, Daddy. And yeah, no surprise to hear that from Gesture. I do agree with him. Their teamwork is looking very good. They're looking like their instinct for the game is back to where it was. So let's see if they can improve on that one. Matt, we have to crown a player of the match, and I think it's going to be pretty easy for us to do that. Presented to you by Omen by HP, of course, our player of the match, the one and the only Fury.
It has
breaking records for Ultimates Negated. This guy, we've given it to a lot of divas over the last week or so, but this is just a standout.
The self-destructs, the Ultimates Negated, just the ability to play, the Sombra in certain compositions he plays, the Tracer there at the end with the stall, but I feel like he had a fantastic series. I think when people talk about Fury and how highly they rate him amongst all of the divas, I feel like this is a series where you can go back and you can definitely see it right there with just a little bit of that Matrix left. 125 at limbs, only 13 deaths for the whole series.
For 4 maps, some of those maps going the full length in terms of time, by the way. So Fury, absolutely dominant. you really are gonna. This is the benchmark for divas. If you think someone's a great diva, they're always going to get put next to someone like Fury, and quite often the Overwatch League, they're going to come out second best. So fantastic performance from him, the London Spitfire, shaping up pretty well for the rest of this stage. But there's many more challenges yet to face. Thank you very much, by the way, for joining us on Disney XD. For those of us hanging around on Twitch and ESPN3, it's the Vancouver Titans versus the Hangzhou Spark. Our first look at